Alrighty, YouTubers, it is time for Queen Studios Hulkbuster. Who is freaking excited? So, we got a giant truck here. I got my two buddies coming later. But let's see what we got. Oh baby, Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay, the box should be sufficiently fine to fit in my car, or in my garage. So, hopefully there's no issues. My last two Queen Studios products did arrive damaged, and I know someone just got this from, and it arrived damaged with a broken leg. So hopefully no issues. So I'm gonna be filming me opening it, you know, when I'm having help, because I know this is extremely heavy. But yeah, look, they got it actually tied to the back of the truck so it doesn't move, and it does have wheels. So it's gonna be easy to like move the box around. And I plan to just open this more or less in my garage and take it piece by piece into my house, you know. So we'll see how heavy it is. Everyone's been talking about how heavy this is, so. But I do know Queen Studios weighs a lot. That Iron Man Mark 7 bust, extremely heavy. The Thanos bust, I can't even lift that thing. I have to take off the top part and then move the base. The crazy thing is, whenever I move it, the top part doesn't weigh a lot, the base doesn't weigh a lot, but when you combine the two, it's like stupid heavy. Alrighty, so here it is. Yeah, we got tons of snow here in Utah, so you know, my house is just filled with tons of snow. But yeah, look at that, he's boosting it up. Crazy. Queen Studios. This is my first flight case I've ever received, and first statue via freight. You know, because all the Prime 1 big boys I've received have always been just like multiple boxes. Even like Godzilla vs. Kong is 6 boxes, where this is just one massive box, as you can see. Although as big as this is, it's not as big as I was expecting. You know, like it's definitely big, but you know, it's not that big. But still, it does require freight. It exceeded the dimensions that like UPS or FedEx would do. So here it is. Check it out. Goodness. Barely's gonna fit on that little lift he's on. I don't want it to fall, so I'm gonna be over here just in case. Goodness. You need help? All right. Yeah, I got it. Don't want this to fall. Yeah, this thing's so big. Do you know how heavy it is?
Yes.
How heavy is this? Like, is it like 200 pounds? Or? Goodness. As you can see the size of it. Very, very big. Alrighty. Finally got it on the road. It looks like I got number 64 of 888. So here we go. Yeah, you could just drop it off right there.
Perfect.
Has wheels so I can move it. So we could probably just let it down right here and I'll wheel it in. Yep, right here is good enough. Thank you. Do I need to sign something?
Yes.
Alrighty. So here it is in the garage. Is size comparison next to some of my other boxes. No example, that's my Terminator life-size bust. So it's obviously my biggest box, no doubt. It's massive. You know, next to it, I do have Queen Wonder Woman bust. So you can see the size difference. It's nearly double the size. Easily double. Alrighty, YouTubers, it is time to finally open up Hulkbuster. I had to run to a work meeting. It's been in my garage for about 40 minutes. So the way this comes off, it looks like on each side there's this little thing that you basically twist off. And it also has like handles, and this box is super solid. As you can see, it has wheels, which is really nice, make it easy to move. You know, I'm sure lifting this up is going to be nearly impossible. Let's go ahead and remove this first layer. But yeah, I wanted to show you size difference next to all my other boxes here. You know, like that's the ECC Fawn Bust. So much, much bigger. Alrighty, so we are greeted with a standard box. You know, this is just like the flight case, which does have like a little layer of styrofoam. And then of course, this material, it feels like wood. So wood, reinforced edges, and this. Then your standard box, which I assume is just gonna be styrofoam inside. So seeing how it is straps, it, you know, you could just undo the straps and take it layer by layer. First time I'm doing a statue unboxing outside. So here's the instructions. So I think the hardest thing people have is really the fact that the body is more or less like one whole piece. You know, obviously the arms are separate in a few little parts, but you have that giant girthy body that you're gonna have to attach to this base. And the body weighs a ton, the base weighs a ton, and you have to get that angle and right. And that's why they do recommend having several people here. Now, my buddy's not coming for another hour, so I'm gonna try to take out what I can and start putting it inside and get it ready. So we'll go ahead and put the instructions over here. You know, there is a COA, as well as, I'm not sure what this is for. Just put that in the pocket, I guess. The COA is just like my 1/4 scales, so very, very similar. Let's, go ahead and take this off. Alrighty, so the COA actually does include a nice little like acrylic display case, which my other 1/4 did not. Now here is the arms. As you can see, definitely first thing that came to my mind and I said out loud was beast. These are freaking huge. I mean, look at that. It's bigger than my arm. So my other Hulkbuster is big and I'll compare the arms on them, but this is definitely a beast. So I'm going to take all 4 of these inside the house now. Alrighty, so we got the next layer out, threw it over there. This is what we're greeted with next. So ginormous freaking body, like holy Jupiter's freaking cock huge. Plus a bunch of little parts. So I'm going to take out all these little parts. I'll attempt to move this by myself out of the box. I think I might be able to get it. I haven't brought my weightlifting belt, which I wear when I lift heavy. So I don't know how heavy this is, but you know, I can do over, you know, underarm lat pull 300 pounds. So I'm sure I could pick this up, but wanted to assess if there was any damage. I mean, I'm not seeing anything, but again, I need to lift it up. So, ooh, that fresh resin smell. Ooh, got a good whiff of that. Let's go and get all these little parts out first. Alrighty, folks, I couldn't record myself doing it, but I did get Hulkbuster out by myself. So, I picked him up by the leg, and then the arm insert part. Definitely got me out of breath, I'll say. It probably weighs 80 plus pounds. It's definitely manageable by me. Like I could pick it up, but it's not necessarily the weight. It's just the size that makes it awkward. You know, it's a lot easier to lift heavy weight when it's consolidated in a smaller format. It's the size that makes it difficult. Next is the base, which is at the very bottom of this. So let's remove this layer. Alrighty, and this is what we're greeted with. So we got a few small parts and this gigantic freaking base. Holy crap, that's huge. Look at that. That is monster big. Definitely one of my deepest bases I've ever owned. You know, like I have some pretty big bases. And I have bases that are like wider. This is definitely my deepest base I've ever seen. So let's get these smaller parts out and let's see if we can lift up this base, which I'm assuming I can. Alrighty, folks. So here is Hulkbuster next to this table. Here's all the parts. So you can see just how big it is. you know, next to this. Crazy. So now I'm gonna go get the base. Alrighty, YouTubers. So here's Hulkbuster base, more or less on my garage shelf. Now this garage shelf I did leave like 5+ inches where it's not like flush against the wall. Ideally, I don't want to move it forward. I'm fine if some of this hangs off. I don't have it pushed all the way back right now. I'm actually probably gonna bring it more forward and in the middle so I can fully assemble it, because looking at these instructions, you have to get to the back part right here, like those 3 steps. Yeah, I might be able to reach that though. It's not a ton. It's like the side hip and 1 back part. And then the arms. At least they gave detailed instructions, like using like numbers and exactly how to do it. And then here's the Chinese instructions. So they do give you detailed instructions, which I do like. But yeah, as you can see, like, look how big that freaking base is. That is ginormous. Like, wow. It's definitely a very heavy base, I will say. It probably weighs 50 pounds. And it was kind of difficult getting it out. It's actually more difficult to get this out than it was the actual Hulkbuster. Even though Hulkbuster weighs more, this was like sort of stuck in the styrofoam. It was deeper in, so, and you didn't have like a good grip. I basically grabbed it by this, grabbed it by that, which had a little like lift part, and was able to finally get it out. Again, though, it hasn't been super, super difficult. Now, I do have to carry Hulkbuster downstairs and install him. I'm real curious if I should even wait for my friend or just tell him not to come, because as long as I can get Hulkbuster in this, I don't need any help. So I feel like I can do it. Alrighty, YouTubers, so my buddy's here. We're going to go ahead and get Hulkbuster up here on this giant base. You do have to insert this part, which is a really strong magnet, and then you put the Hulkbuster body, so you can see a size, just how big he is. Now, these are 3-foot tall garage shelves, so he is nearly 3 feet tall on his own. I'd say he's probably 34 inches, and then you have this monster big base. So we're going to go ahead and lift this up and put it right here. So let's get to it. Alrighty, YouTubers, so we do have Hulkbuster, and it's probably not in 100%. Maybe go down a little bit more. We might try to get it, but here it is. Size comparison next to Hulk. Absolute beast. What do you think of it?
Like I said, it's a huge mofo.
Absolutely massive. Ridiculously big. Alrighty, so first thing we attached is these 2 back leg parts. Next is going to be this guy, which goes on the back of that leg. So we put the back foot in. That actually snapped in real good. Now, I cannot get this completely flush, and I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but it's definitely not flush, but it probably doesn't bug me too much. And it was very difficult in general getting this on the base. I basically carried him at his hips while my friend guided it down, but we can't get it to go any lower. So maybe it'll go lower in time. You know, it still is pretty cold. It was outside in the cold, so that probably is contributing. And I assume it'll probably go down because it's so heavy. But we got that. Next part, so we got F1, F2, G. Next, 3 AAA batteries here at the hip. And then you have this golden part to go ahead and cover it like a switch. So this is going to be on the side right here. 3 batteries. So let's put those in. Alrighty, so next 3 pieces we attached were these 3. And you do have to do them in a specific order, but we got those. We're almost done. We have this gold thing, this gray thing, and then the arms. So the gold thing, it's actually the silver thing, does go in the back. Alrighty, so we attached this part right here, sort of like damaged. This is a very heavy battle damage piece. Now we're just the arms. Alrighty, folks, we are so close to finishing it. We got the arm, we gotta get the second arm, and then finish off with the base piece, which I'll put that on once I push it back to its final resting spot. Well, we do have to decide. We have 2 different arms. I want to put the one I'm going to utilize. We have either the jackhammer or a fist. So I'm going to check them out both. Let's look at them and then decide. Alrighty, folks, so we finally have Hulkbuster all set up outside the last base piece, but we do have it lit up. Now, these arms, the regular arms, do not light up. There's no light up in there. There's no light up function. Only this arm does have a light up back there. And that's it. So this one just has a shoulder light up. So we have opted for the jackhammer hand for a few different reasons. The light up, the fact that one is normal. That one has a jackhammer as well, but we're using the jackhammer on this guy since he's very battle damaged, and he had this hand when he was very battle damaged. So now let's put on the final base. Alrighty, YouTubers, so we finally have Hulkbuster all set up. As you can see, it's an absolute monster piece. Super, super big. We'll do a full in-depth video review and determine how good this statue truly is, if it would have won Statue of the Year for me. And yeah, so be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's video for the full review. Big shout out and thanks to Spec Fiction for sending me this bad boy, gave me a great deal. I'll leave a link in the description below to his shop where you guys can purchase any Queen Infinity Studio products and other statues. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.